Okay. All right, so welcome to the first workshop, well, the first poster workshop of the year. It's the 2021 Symposium workshop this year. We, of course, again, being virtual as we were last year. So if you presented at last year's, it's going to be pretty similar, but I'm going to actually go into a little bit of detail this year that we didn't include last year, kind of some lessons learned that we learned from last year's virtual symposium, and hopefully this will help you guys as you start to create your posters for this year's symposium. I am Mrs. Moses. I am the Assistant Director for the Center for Undergraduate Research. Most of you know who I am because you're in one of the programs here or my class that I'm helping co-teach with Dr. Donnelly, but the rest of you who don't know me, I was an undergraduate researcher here at UF and then went and worked in industry and came back as the Assistant Director. So I am back here with you and hopefully can help you guys get into some research or some career. That's what I'm hoping. So the symposium is March 25th. It's going to be from 2 to 4 p.m. You'll be assigned a specific hour that you'll be required to be online to respond to questions from the visitors. So the symposium page will have, just like it was last year, your name, your headshot, your project title, your abstract, your faculty mentor's name, the other co-authors or anything that are on the paper, an image of your poster, a video, a little 3-minute poster pitch, and a Zoom link this year. That's something new that we're requiring. So you're going to have one whole page all to yourself. You'll be required to be on that page. We've also added a live comment feature to the page, so you'll be able to see without having to refresh the page over and over again. You're going to be able to see as comments pop up on your page. So if someone doesn't want to pop into your Zoom link, they can leave a comment on your page, and you can just reply right then and there to those people. So it'll be really, that'll be a nice feature that we didn't have last year. So the first part from 2 to 3 are going to be last name, letters A through K. The second part from 3 to 4 will be last names, letters L through Z. So you'll be presenting during those hours. The other hour that you're not presenting, you'll be the audience to your peers. And so that way we ensure that everyone gets someone to talk to, that everyone gets visited, and we just kind of make our way through the posters and everyone's happy. So today we're going to talk about the major components that you need for your page. So your headshot, I just want to make sure that you guys look the best you can on your pages. So today's going to be all about that. So how to take a good headshot, poster tips, presentation tips, and their video tips. Does that sound good? All right, let's get going. So I did list here, I'm going to be providing this PowerPoint online for you guys if you need it. It has a little bit more information that's available than what's available on my symposium instruction page that you'll see at the end of this presentation. So I'll add a link to this presentation on the page with the video to this. We're recording, right? Awesome. Okay. All right. Oh, registration will also be opening up this Friday. But you have to have all your components to register. So while you might not be ready to register yet, they are opening up this Friday and registration will close March 15th. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. I'm going to go to the headshot. So the requirements for the symposium. So most of you know that I'm also the webmaster at CURBS, which means I design all the web pages. And I have designed a system this year that is going to be way easier for me. However, if you don't do what's required here, your page may not look as good, right? So I designed the page to be around a square headshot. So if you provide me not a square headshot, there's a chance that your page is not going to look as good as everybody else's because it wasn't designed for a non-square headshot. So try to make sure your headshot's square. File name, if you could please make sure that your name is in there, because if some reason all of a sudden there's a glitch on the page, your picture goes missing, I cannot find DSC 1493 and make sure that's you because I don't necessarily know what you look like. There's also some size restrictions. Was that a dog? Kind of sounded like it a little bit, but anyways, okay. There's also some size restrictions there, and not that there is a size restriction. The size restriction is can't be over 2,500 pixels wide. Just that size image has the best quality for the size that's on the website. So that's all I'm going to say about just the size. So just make sure you're uploading square. On the website, you will find tips and tricks. It'll tell you how to size your photo on your phone, how to size your photo on the website or on your computer. So there's a lot of information that's on the website that I'm not going to be clearly handing to you over this workshop. So when you're taking a good headshot, yes, you can use your cell phone. A lot of the current cell phones, especially that they have portrait mode, they take really nice headshots now. However, if you don't have good lighting, if you're not in a good location, it's not going to matter how good of a photo you're taking. So you can always use your cell phone, portrait mode, have someone else take your photo so you're not doing a selfie. Use a neutral background or an appropriate background. So I wouldn't take it in front of a group of people with a bunch of people standing behind you or with cars going by or anything like that. Brick wall or trees or anything is always nice, but I put some distance between you, because when you do something like portrait mode or you take a nice headshot, you want that nice blurry background. Because if you notice in that top photo, that background's nice and blurry. You're not distracted by all the stuff that's in the lab. The bottom photo, yes, these are both me from when I was working in the lab. You see everything that's cluttering the bench. You see the gloves. You see me not wearing gloves. You see all this bad stuff that you're not supposed to see in your headshot, right? So you want a nice professional headshot that's got great lighting. That's just good. Thank you.
Could you guys please mute your microphones if they're not already muted? Thank you.
Another tip is that you want to leave space around your head and your shoulders so that you can then choose where it crops at. If you take the photo too close up, then you're not going to be able to crop it as nicely as you would like. Okay. And then, like I said, lighting is key. If you can see right now in my office, I've got this window right here. It's providing really nice indirect lighting. The sun's not beaming through on me. It's just natural sunlight is best when you're taking a photo. So let's talk about the poster. Any questions on headshots real quick? Anybody got anything?
Yeah, that headshot picture is going on the start of the presentation, or where would
this headshot is going to be on your page, on your symposium page.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Yes, if we've already provided a headshot for the University Scholars Program and it's on our page for USP, do we need to provide another one?
Yes. So let me tell you how the system is set up. I have designed this so that when you fill out your form, you are actually creating your page for you. So the image that you select and the image that you upload on there is actually going straight to your page. So I can't program it to pull an old photo. I would have to manually go in and add those old photos. And last year I had to do that 387 times. And so I'm trying to alleviate some of that manual work that I had to do last year. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, anything else? Headshot stuff? Cool. All right, so let's talk about the poster. So there's going to be a lot of words on these. I'm not going to read them all, but you know the goal of your research poster is to have an organized visual display of your research project and its findings. I know I get a lot of questions of students, well, what if I haven't gotten my data, or if I don't have results right now because COVID hit and I wasn't allowed to go in the lab and it's a wet lab and I can't do my work, and right. You're going to present on what you have. You're going to say, instead of data or results, you're going to say, okay, this is what I think I should have. These are the results I would think I would want. And this is the future work we're going to do. Maybe you focus then on the main idea of the poster being your methods or how you came to that conclusion. But you're just going to be displaying, having a visual display of your poster, right? So characteristics of a good poster is it's organized, it's concise, it's self-explanatory, and it's visually appealing. And I'll show you guys some examples as we go through there. Your poster should make people want to click on you on the website, right? If it's got jam-packed 8,000 words in each section, I don't think you could fit 8,000 words, but if it did, some people's not going to want to click on it and read all of that. So we'll get to that. So research poster elements. So it always should have a title. It always should have the authors and the institution on it. Background and introduction should always be included. Your methodology, your results, your conclusions, future directions, some of those, like I said, if you have them, you're going to include them. Optional, some people like to put their abstract on there. Some people add their references on there. And then some people like to put their acknowledgement, especially if they had a lot of help with their poster design or their poster build. They'll often acknowledge their mentor or acknowledge someone who helped them build, like say they went to peer advising and peer advising helped them with their poster. Adding an acknowledgement is kind of a thank you to that person for helping you work on your poster. All right. So you'll see a design here. Very simple, but it makes you want to read it. It's a very interesting poster. It's got great colors. It draws your eye to it. I like the fact that her little planner boxes look a little bit like Pac-Man. I'm not really sure if there was a reason for that, but for me, it just made me want to ask those types of questions, right? So make it interesting, make it fun. It doesn't have to be stale, boring posters. All right. So these are all going to be really, really specific information on each section. I am not going to go through these, but I wanted to include them because I felt like they were important. If you've never made a poster before, it's good to have this information. So like if you were to create a title for your in-person one, if it's 3 foot by 4 foot, you're fine. You're going to want it to be 72 point font. You're doing virtual, so you don't have to worry about that. And we're going to go right past that. Author and institution with your abstract. Presenter should be first name. Additional authors listed in order of contribution. Last name should be faculty mentor, so that you should do their last name first. Include departments and institutions below the author's names. If an abstract is included, it should be identical to the one submitted for the conference. Your background and introduction, it should be very brief. Like I said, no one wants to read an 8,000 word introduction on your poster while they're trying to go through maybe 5 or 6 people and visit 5 or 6 people during the virtual symposium. I know none of y'all want to read a poster, which is why the videos are also important for this. Methodology, you're going to briefly discuss, so you'll see this briefly describe in every single thing. Briefly describe how things were collected, how you got the information, even if there's pictures, if you could show pictures of how you collected or how you did your work, that would also be helpful. Tables, graphs, pictures, those are all really visually pleasing elements to look at on a poster. Figures, so you can put your data in figures to help you support or deny your hypothesis. So whatever question you are asking, those figures, those results are going to support that question. Graphics also, like the other girl had little wavy stuff because she was doing plant and water stuff. That's great. If you can add, you know, fun and interesting, appealing graphics on there, it's always a good thing to add. Anything, like I said, is that want other people to look at your poster, you're going to want to add. Minus the cutesy clip art, low res pics, right? And I wouldn't put any emojis on there unless your project is about emojis. Okay. Right. Your conclusion, it's always good to listing in bullets if you can. People like those little short snippets. Nobody wants to read these paragraphs. You're presenting a poster, you're not presenting your thesis, right? You're not trying to 15 pages, you know, you're just presenting these concise results and conclusions that you came with your poster. And then some of you will have future work. Say you haven't gotten your results yet, or say you got results that you found very interesting and you want to continue this work. You might have a section that talks about your future work. And then again, you might have references and acknowledgements. So some of y'all, if you were working under a grant with a PI, you would list that grant on there. This symposium, it's not required for this symposium, but if you were going to go to a national conference and present at a national conference, you would have to list the funding for your project. So designing your poster. So this is where we're going to get into what it should look like, right? Prepare text for each section, right? So you want to have a little bit of text on there. It's not that you don't want any text on there. You just want to have a little bit that's going to guide people in maybe 1-2 sentences of each section. You're going to select the graphics and tables of key results. You're going to sketch a layout on paper first using logical arrangements. How you read from left to right. Your poster should be designed from left to right. Okay. You don't want your introduction to be on the right and then your conclusion to be on the left. So make sure that you are designing it to where it's ease of reading. 3 or 4 panel design is typical but not required, and that means that, see, here's one panel, there's a second panel in the middle, and then a third panel on the right. It's typically how they're designed, but that's not required. Do it however you see fit. And there's actually a new design also that has come out we're going to go into. So you can design your poster in several different ways. I put the specific design for PowerPoint, and these measurements that you see on here are the specific measurements for our virtual symposium. When you go into PowerPoint, you hit slide size, custom slide size, width 26 inches and height 19 and a half. Online on our website, on the symposium instructions, there are templates that are already sized to this. You don't have to use exactly what's on the template. You could just download a template, delete everything on it and redesign it, but it'll already be sized correctly and you won't have to worry about that. So there are 2 templates online. One is for PowerPoint and one is for Canva. I know a lot of people are getting more familiar with Canva because a lot of people are using social media and might be designing posts and stuff in there. You can design your poster in there, and I believe this one that's here was potentially designed in Canva. It looks nice and neat. It contains elements. You can easily find all these icons and things in there. Nothing would stop you from using Canva to design your poster. And we have a template available. You can actually just click the link and it'll take you to your personal Canva and it'll pop up just as our template. All right. You will export your files as a PNG or a JPEG. We can't accept a PDF. The website will not display a PDF. It's only an image. And like I said before, it can't be bigger than 2,500 pixels wide. This measurements, this 26 inches by 19 and a half is going to be less than that. So if you type in your PowerPoint exactly these dimensions, you're going to fit the size that you need for the virtual symposium. Landscape layout is most common, and our pages are designed to work best with landscape layout. We can put a portrait layout in there and it will work. It just won't look as pretty. That's all. As you're designing your poster, you're going to want to adjust your view. You might want to zoom in or out on different sections. You're going to use text boxes for titles and text. You can copy and paste from Word into PowerPoint, which is nice. You can also copy and paste from Word into Canva too. And you can also insert figures and graphs and create tables directly in PowerPoint, which is really nice. I just learned that in Canva, you can actually create graphs in there and they can even be animated if you wanted them to be, which I thought was kind of cool. All right. These are the 2 poster templates that you'll find online. So there's 2 different versions here. There's a standard PowerPoint template that you see everywhere right now, this 3-column design. Then there's this new better poster template, and you'll find this on our website. There's actually a little video. I think the gentleman that designed it was, let's say he was from Michigan or some other university, but he did a study on it and he found that if they just put this main finding, this one simple question here, this QR code to the poster, and maybe a little graphic here, they got a lot more interaction for their poster because it was very simple. They had one sentence describing the research right up front. The person could walk by, read this one sentence, and they would know exactly whether or not they wanted to talk to that person. We've had a few students that do this design now. It's becoming more common. I like it. I love the idea of reading one sentence and wanting to know if I need to talk to that person or want to talk to that person or not. So you have both of these options available online in PowerPoint and in Canva. So, you know, you can check that out on our website, and I'll have a link to that at the end. So let's just talk about presentation tips. So it's not just about designing this great or taking this great headshot and designing this great poster. It's also this video that you're going to record and your ability to communicate your research with people who are stopping by in your Zoom link, right? It's not just about this beautiful poster that you now have. Now you have to be able to stand by it and talk about it. So let's talk about some of the things. So I went and scoured the internet for feedback. I found a conference that actually accepted feedback from judges and faculty for their conference, and I kind of compiled that into a list of some helpful tips for you guys. You should also think about these not only while you're talking about your research with people online, but while you're doing your video. So why did your research matter? Why was it important? Again, you want to pay attention to the overall appearance, graphic, text, and colors, the organization. You want the organization to be really clean and neat on your poster. objective results, conclusion, etc. Minimize text and use appropriate graphics. I can't say that enough. I've said that 8,000 times, right? Sketch your poster layout on paper first to make sure it makes sense. Text size should be readable from 4 to 6 feet. That's if you're doing an in-person one. So if you're presenting at a conference, standing by a poster, you want to make sure that you can actually read the text from 4 to 6 feet away. Use color cautiously. And this is a big one because some colors are easier to read than others, and especially if you want to take into account accessibility. So some students who may have some red-green color blindness or other things that may inhibit their ability to read or distinguish differences in colors, you want to make sure that the contrast is big enough that everyone is going to be able to read your poster. All right, dark letters on a light background are easiest to read. Avoid very bright colors. And then don't make your audience work. People will read from top to bottom and left to right. Then you're going to prepare a 2 to 3 minute verbal explanation. Highlight the significance. I got this. Let me move that out of the way. Okay. Highlight the significance of your work. So this is what you'll use for your video. You're going to be personable and engaging and professional. Don't spend too much time with one person. So if you have a couple people that are sitting there in your Zoom, you're going to want to try to rotate between them rather than just sticking with the one person. You don't want to ignore the other person that might be waiting to ask you a general question, or that might, just try to engage the multiple people at the same time. Be prepared to answer questions and admit when you don't know it. So if you don't know the answer, don't fake it. Just say, oh, I'm not sure. It's something I should definitely look into. Okay, there's nothing wrong with admitting when you don't know the answer. So your video, let's talk about the video. Your video is a 3-minute video. It's you presenting your poster. You're going to dress it in business attire, and that doesn't have to be, you don't have to rent a tux for this. Just a nice shirt and tie would be nice. Girls, everyone, you know what business attire is, right? It's what you would go to a job interview in. When you do your video, focus on the bigger picture of your research and results and conclusions, and cover the important topic of your research to get your point across. You also want to make sure, I think it's on the next slide actually, there's examples in here too. There's also examples on the website. So let me see, I probably put these out of order. Okay, so we'll go back here. So when you're doing these videos, you want to kind of model it after like the 3-minute thesis competitions, right? You want to draw people into what your research is about. So you want to include a hook. This is a sentence or two that gets people attention, draws their interest. An introduction, which is who you are, what's your name, what's your year, what's your major, how you completed this work. So I worked under so-and-so at so-and-so's lab, right? Or office. And then your setup for questions. So after capturing their attention and introducing yourself, you want to quickly indicate why your issue is important. All right. You do not need to print your poster to have it in your video. We've done this in several different ways. I've seen students do this in several different ways. It doesn't have to be you talking over your poster. It can be just you in front of the camera. It can be you doing a Zoom and sharing your screen and talking over the PowerPoint version of your poster and zooming in on certain areas. It could be, I've seen people have a TV set up behind them with their poster in it. Doesn't look as great, but you do not need to print it and put it in your video with you. Those of you that are in CURE classes and you have multiple people, the easiest way to do this is to film it via Zoom and have everyone talk individually within their 4 boxes or however many people you have in your class. Plan what you're going to say before you give your 3-minute. You only have 3 minutes, so you got to make them count. Make sure you're capturing everything you want to say in those 3 minutes. Use plain language. Your elevator pitch should target all audiences. So whoever is going to visit your page, no matter what major they are, they should be able to understand what you're saying in that research pitch video. Make sure the room you're in has good lighting. Your face should be visible without any major shadows on it. Keep in mind your backgrounds. I know we all have seen videos of people in Zooms and have things in the background they probably wish weren't in the background. Let's make sure we don't have any of those. That would be completely mortifying to everyone. Make sure the room you're in, or did that one, the camera should be level with your face or pointing slightly down at it. Everyone takes a selfie from up here. That's true with your cameras too. You look better from a higher angle, we all do. It's the same with filming your videos. Check your audio after recording to make sure you're easily understandable. It might be necessary to re-record, so you may have to redo it. It's only 3 minutes, not a huge deal. I know a lot of you are familiar with iMovie. Even if you've got part of it and you need to pause it and you need to put two together, it's very easy to do it in software like that. For groups that might not be able to record together, it is acceptable to record a conference call. Like I said, you're able to do that over Zoom, and just record that and then upload that to YouTube. So once the presentation is recorded, you're going to upload it to YouTube on your own account, okay? You can list this as unlisted, and I say this every time because everybody gets freaked out about themselves being on YouTube. So you can list these videos as unlisted. The only people that can see this video are the people who have the link. They are not searchable. If I were to go to search Carson Ostrom, I'm not going to find your YouTube video there if it's listed as unlisted. Okay, Carson, you're the first one on my screen. You get to be my person today. So list it as unlisted if you're really concerned about people finding it. You also need to determine if your mentor wants it to be public or not. If they don't want your research to be public, then you don't get to make it public because it's technically not your decision. So make sure it's unlisted. And if your mentor has concerns, feel free to send them my way. The symposium pages are all under GatorLink authentication. So only people at UF are going to be able to attend the symposium. So all the details of your page, your videos, all of that, they will have to sign into GatorLink to view all of everything. So if your faculty is concerned about their data being made public, then that should help with that because it's only UF faculty and staff and students that are going to be able to attend. All right. I've also put some links in here on how you can upload your video to YouTube from your iPhone, your iPad, from your Mac, from your Android, just in case you are recording it on your phone. That way you'll be able to upload it. The YouTube is pretty simple to figure out, and there are YouTube videos on how to upload to YouTube, so I think you'll be fine. All right. But again, lighting is key for this. Anytime you do any type of recording or pictures or images, just make sure you have good lighting. Like I said, I just want you guys to look your best and be able to show the best side of you in your research. So I have two QR codes on the screen right now. One of them is our website right now where I have the symposium instructions. I have the headshot on there. I have the poster templates, our CUR logos. If you're one of our students and you need to put that on your poster, the logos are on there. There's several different forms of that. And then there's also some video tips. Then the detailed symposium instructions are very, very specific on what you need to do in order to submit everything to the abstract, to the submission form. So it includes how to make a Zoom link if you've never made a Zoom meeting link before. And there's also detailed guides in here on exactly what to do, how to resize your stuff. So if you need either of those, they're both available on our website. But then, like I said, I'll be uploading this there. Most of my USPs and ESPs have gotten this information and announcements from me, and it's also available in your resources under the campus sites. But now I just get to answer your questions because I know I threw a lot of information at you real quick. But I am here to answer questions. So what do we have?
I think my lab has like a template for posting whenever they go to like conferences.
Yep.
So I was kind of thinking I would use their template for my poster.
Yep.
Is that okay? Because I think that they have like the ones that are hung up around the walls and stuff, they have a lot of text on them. So I was just wondering if that's like okay.
It's totally fine. You're going to do, your posters have to be approved by your mentor regardless. So use whatever they have. You will need to resize it because if the template was designed for a 4-foot by 3-foot poster, when you go to save that as a PNG or a JPEG, it's going to be too big for our website. So you will need to resize it before you start to work on your poster.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you recommend PowerPoint or Canva or one or the other?
They're both really easy to work with. I don't recommend one over the other. I mean, they're both really simple. I like Canva because of all the extra little elements that they offer, the ability to, I mean, just add just shapes and design, and it's a little bit more visually appealing, I think, Canva is than PowerPoint. But I mean, both are good. You can make both look great.
When we record our video, is it okay if we like sit at our desk and record it on Zoom so we can have like our poster like on half of the screen and us on the other half? Or
Yep.
do you recommend like someone recording it of us like standing up?
No, most students are going to use Zoom to record because honestly, that's the easiest thing to do.
Okay.
That's what I would recommend doing. Just, you know, good cameras are always nice, but most computers have a decent built-in webcam, except for my Mac. My MacBook Air webcam is terrible. I don't know what's wrong with it, and it's brand new. I just got it. I don't even know what's going on. What else we got?